Y'all, am I too loud? When I tell you the gremlins have been trying to keep me from doing this video, the gremlins have been busy. First, my MacBook wouldn't cooperate. So then last night I tried to go live and then did the whole live and through the YouTube app, and it didn't share anything on my screen. So just amazing. You know how I do. I rather go live than try to do a whole video. So let me finish this out. Ugh. All right. It's been 36 hours. 36 hours. Where's the new information? Where is the new stuff? It has been 36 hours and we haven't heard a peep. So let's kind of go over what has happened. Now, just before we do that, let's go ahead and get this information in. And as you all come in, please hit that like button. And if you like what you see, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I promise. We've been waiting these 36 hours. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen it yet. So what am I talking about? So first of all, let me add this to the stage. We're talking about Tory Lanez and this new evidence that was supposed to be produced. All right. So here we are. We have Tory Lanez. Just to update you all, he's been transferred to a new facility after his stabbing. So they must have released him from the hospital, and they've transferred him to a new facility. And this is reported by TMZ on yesterday. So it says here he's currently on the mend after surviving a brutal attack. And now he has a change of scenery after being moved completely to a different facility. So he went from the California Correctional Institute, CCI, to the California Men's Colony. And apparently those two facilities are 3 hours away. Now, that was done because at the California Correctional Institute, they cannot ensure his safety. And what I could never understand is, and maybe it's just me, but I thought he was going to be in protective custody, but apparently he was in gym pop and all this stuff popped off. Now, I don't know why all that stuff popped off. No one is literally saying much about why all that stuff popped off. For back over here, for what's going on with Tory in prison. All right. But what I will say is this: he is on the mend, and that's what's important right now. So I just want to let you all know that he was on the mend. Now, here we have this congresswoman right here. You see her, and we will listen to her stuff in just a second. But right after Tory had gone into the hospital after he was attacked, there was a press conference held. And in this press conference, I believe his attorneys that are working for him, they came out and they reported that Kelsey Harris's bodyguard / driver had come to them to tell them that, he couldn't keep this a secret any longer. He'd come to tell them that he overheard Kelsey tell someone that she was the one that pew-pewed Megan, right? Now, they did a whole big old press conference in regards to that, but the bodyguard didn't show up. Then we hear, probably maybe less than 12 to 24 hours later, we hear that several artists have petitioned Gavin Newsom for a pardon for Tory. And let me see. Let's see. So it looks like it has like 294,000 signatures as of today. And so what was that pardon about? Basically, they are petitioning the governor. They're going to get this petition together, and then they have a letter written. And I've done a video about it. They had a letter written asking the governor to pardon. And so it's my understanding celebrities like Drake, Amber Rose, Kodak Black, and a whole lot of other folks have signed this petition so that they could free Tory Lanez, right? Okay. So then we have this lady right here. Let's see if this will play. I don't know why it does this for me. Hold on, let me see if I refresh it. Will it help? No.
Are you ready for drama? Oh my gosh, no. Tell me all the nitty gritty. I want to know. Cut it from the show.
We'll just wait for that commercial to play.
My understanding is you're around some kind of the Foreign Relations Committee, and you're from Florida. Why did you take such an interest in this case?
Specifically, how I got involved in this case is I actually am friends with Amber Rose, and she had flagged it for me. And when I actually spoke to the attorneys that are representing Mr. Lanez, they actually presented me with evidence. When I saw the evidence that was brought forward, we're talking about no forensics DNA on the magazine of the pistol, a 0.01 DNA match, which effectively means that he could not have been the shooter, to include there being ring.
And so I want you all to hear that really quick, because they are rehashing the same stuff that they went into the trial with this forensic and DNA and all of this stuff. Now, this is not new information. This is information that they went into the trial with, and it was debunked on stand. And I have the PowerPoint presentation by Megan's team, because we're going to definitely go over that. But she is rehashing. I'm going to let her finish, but I do want you all to know that she is just rehashing this same information. Hold on. Let me let her finish.
Footage that really refutes and dispels the testimony that, you know, he had basically said dance and then fired the firearm. In addition to that, they're also being missing ballistics fragments from the alleged, you know, shot in the foot, as well as medical x-rays. All of this does indeed show and prove that Mr. Lanez, unfortunately, is being incarcerated and he's an innocent man.
Is this the new evidence that you had tweeted about? This ring video, you said there's a ring video that will refute?
Yep, it was actually brought to my knowledge by the attorneys, and we actually had posted that on one of our X platforms, that there's allegedly ring video footage that refutes the statements and they, I would say, hearsay comments in court testimony.
Have you seen it, and is it going to be released?
I'm actually actively pushing for the release of that, and there's also an affidavit that the attorneys have actually shown me already that actually came from, well, we will be presenting that and posting.
Now, she hadn't seen anything, and she let her friend Amber Rose get her caught up in this. But we'll continue. She hadn't seen it. She's just trusting what Amber has told her.
That publicly for everyone to see in the coming days.
If I was the appellate lawyer or the lawyer trying to secure a pardon for him or a new trial, and I had a video showing somebody else shot him, I would shot her. I would send that out immediately to the media to create this kind of firestorm to
Then you would get
release
the
it.
governor's attention.
Why
Why
wouldn't they immediately release a video if it shows? I mean, because that's the smoking gun, literally.
Right.
I don't know. Again, as I stated, I haven't seen the footage yet. But what I will say is that all of the information that's been brought forward and flagged to us is also going to be presented if it hasn't already been sent to the governor's office. And I would also say that it's incredibly important for people to realize that the body cam footage, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, has also reported, and the initial medical responding.
Now, let me let her finish.
Doctor at the ER with Miss Stallion actually reported lacerations, and also too, the bullet fragments are missing, meaning that they don't have evidence. When you have very wealthy people involved, that he said, she said, evidence goes missing. I mean, this is all something to me that indicates where there's smoke, there's fire, and this screams cover up. And so what I would say is that people need to be very careful about this, because if this can happen to someone like Tory, it can happen to you guys.
Now, again, you got the press conference, and then you've got the petition, and then you have Amber Rose's friend, this particular congresswoman from Florida, fighting for Tory Lanez. And that's their complete right to do this. But she let her friend Amber Rose get her caught up in stuff that now her credibility is going to be questioned. Now, I'm just reaching all my limits on everything. Ugh. I didn't know I could reach my limit on some of these news. There we go. So Megan Thee Stallion did I may have it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It's just taking a little. Give me just, sorry, y'all. See, when my computer restarted, some of my settings restarted, and I cannot. All right, so let me share. So here is the statement from Meg Thee Stallion. She says, and this was on TikTok. At what point are y'all going to stop making me have to relive being pew-pewed by Tory? At what point are Tory and y'all's fans going to stop lying? Like, how much is the check to keep harassing me? Why is this happening every day? 1 minute, y'all said I was never shot. Now y'all letting him play in y'all face again and say I was shot, but it wasn't him. Oh, okay. I'm sick of this, SHIT. Leave me TF alone. He ain't dare get on that stand and deny he pew-pewed me, and that was his choice because he knows he did that, SHIT. I don't give an F about a blog or a bot. Why NTF would me, Megan Thee Stallion, have to lie on this MF about pew-pewing me? How y'all mad at the person that got pew-pewed? Facts are facts. He did it. It was proven in court. F the hate campaign on the internet. Tory, you pew-pewed me. Ain't no new effing evidence. Y'all been saying the same SHIT for years. Tory, please leave me alone. You an effing demon. I'm off this silly internet stuff. And you know, I had to use my censored words, okay? So this is Megan responding to all of this. So then, remember, we've had the press conference. We've had the congresswoman who gave us 36 hours, but it's been 36 hours. So what's going on? It has been 36 hours. What's going on? So we've seen the petition. That's gone. We've seen his attorneys here with their press conference talking about this new evidence. And I'm not going to play it because I've just told you what it was. So now we have Meg Thee Stallion's lawyers do what? I'm sorry, y'all. So we have Megan Thee Stallion's lawyers. They've done, you know your girl loves a good PowerPoint. You know I love a good presentation. So let's take a look at this particular presentation. And we probably can do full screen. Let me see. Here we go. They've done a PowerPoint called Overwhelming Evidence of Mr. Peterson's Guilt. People versus Daystar Peterson. This is from Alex Spiro. Again, this is Megan Thee Stallion's attorney. So let's see this particular PowerPoint. It says Daystar Peterson admitted to shooting Megan Pete. How do we know this? Here we have Peterson admitted to pew-pewing Pete. Now, on July 12, 2020, just hours after violently shooting Megan Thee Stallion, let me do this. Let's go here. Can y'all see that? Tory Lanez called Kelsey Harris from jail and admitted to pew-pewing Megan. All right. So they have here is the transcript, but here is the video. If you can't hear the video, the transcript is right here.
I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever, yeah. Bro. But you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right, and that's not gonna make my actions right, bro.
What actions, Tory? What action? What are you talking about? Now, we get to the next slide. So while all of this is going on, Peterson texted Pete apologizing. All right. Now I didn't even see this, but it was presented at trial. I didn't know because again, they didn't offer any cameras at the trial, and we had to rely on those folks that were going to the trial. And I don't remember seeing this, but again, let's go over it. It says here, 7 minutes, phone died, 3 minutes out, because I want to get the whole scope of the whole situation. It says, Meg, I know you probably never going to talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. And I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, SHIT should have never happened, and I can't change what did. I just feel horrible. What do you feel horrible about? Let's continue. Harris repeatedly confirmed Peterson shot Pete. So, minutes after the incident, Harris texts Pete's security guard. And what does she say? Help. Tory shot Meg and handled me. 911. And so what did that mean? So he pew-pewed her. And then the handle me is that they were in a scuffle, a kerfuffle. She had an interview with the prosecutors. This is what she said. Harris admitted to prosecutors that she witnessed Peterson firing the gun, definitely in Miss Pete's direction. Harris confirmed Peterson offered her and Pete $1 million to stay silent. Here is the testimony. This is the testimony that she gave in court. Now, I will put this caveat in here. Because what was reported in court is that, Kelsey was very flippant and turt with the prosecution. And we do know that she had immunity. And the prosecution couldn't understand why she was acting the way she was acting. And she was very upset with them and all this other stuff. So let me explain to you what that upset was. When all of this happened, Kelsey had her attorneys get in contact with Tory Lanez attorneys because there was some kind of incident where she was wanting some medical bills that she had incurred because of this. She wanted those medical bills paid. And Kelsey's attorney reached out to Tory Lanez then attorney, whose last name was Holly. So now it is rumored, I don't know who told what, but it is rumored that Rock Nation got a hold of the fact that Kelsey's attorney was in contact with Tory Lanez's attorneys, and they in turn told the prosecution. And then the prosecution was saying that Tory Lanez's attorney, in effect, was trying to tamper with the witness, or it was something to that effect. And they were going to do sanctions against Miss Holly for her attorney talking with thing. And, it was a whole little kerfluffle or whatever that was. Now, I can't tell you the ins and outs of it, but that is what the issue was. And there was talk of jail time. And I don't know if it got to Kelsey or not, that it got to Kelsey that they were trying to mess up her getting her medical bills paid. Now, you all have to go behind me and fact check, but that is what I remember. And all of this came out when Tory Lanez signed the paper, because I think the Baez guy, the one who got Casey Anthony off, he became Tory Lanez's new attorney. And so he had to sign some kind of waiver to waive the privilege between his old attorney to the new attorney. And that's where this information kind of come out. Also, we also had the information to come out from all of this is that Attorney Holly, the defense of saying that Kelsey did it, she wasn't backing that because of the fact that the driver who was there was no way that she was going to put him on the stand, because I guess they must have interviewed him a couple of times, and he interviewed in a certain way that I guess was going to be not favorable to Tory. And there was no way that she was going to put somebody on the stand that she knew that was going to lie. So she said that, and that was the reason why she had one of the reasons why she had recused herself. And she waited to recuse herself till real close to trial. So Tory did get the new attorney, and she waited close to recusing herself closer to the trial so that it wouldn't be such a big sensation. It was something to that effect. I can't remember all of what it was, but you can definitely go back through my playlist and all my things on Tory Lanez, and I can definitely be more informative But let's continue. Peterson's attempted to bribe Pete and Harris, and that has been told that he offered them $1 million. Peterson begged Pete and Harris to keep quiet, offering each a bribe of $1 million. And question, so here's Pete's testimony at trial. So what is Tory saying to you? Answer, I don't remember anything he was saying to me in that moment. But when we got into the car and we heard the police sirens, now he's saying, please don't say anything. I'll give y'all $1 million. I can't go to jail. I already got caught with a gun before. Don't tell on me. Now, couple of things going on. Two things are going on. Tory Lanez in Florida, I believe is of 2017. He was pulled over from the police because number one, he didn't have any tags on his car. Number two, he did not have a driver's license to drive that car. And number three, I guess when the car was searched, they found a firearm. He wasn't allowed to have a firearm. He wasn't registered. He wasn't registered or had the wasn't registered to have a firearm. The firearm wasn't registered. I'm not gonna say he wasn't able to, but that particular firearm was not registered. And so he was arrested. So he already had that charge and he was already on a level of probation from those charges, right? Number two, when this initially happened, Megan said, because of the police presence, and she was afraid. I think that there is a statement that we'll go over that. But because of the police presence, she didn't want to tell them that they had a gun, that this boy had a gun in the car, because she didn't know if they was going to start firing or not. So what she did, when they asked her initially what happened, she said she stepped on some glass. All right. She felt like that was going to de-escalate the situation, but it wasn't for long because they did find the gun in the car. All right. We get on the internet. Y'all are cutting. There was nothing else to be said about it. She goes to the hospital and they're having to do surgery on her foot. And we will definitely see the information coming up. But they had to do surgery on her foot. And when they did surgery on her foot, because they're thinking that they're getting ready to pull out glass, but you have an orthopedic surgeon who pulls out bullet fragments. This is what's caused her injury in her feet. But we will go over that in a few minutes. But let's continue. So you have him bribing them for for both of them for $1 million each. And I think thinking back, well, let's continue. I'm not going to. Here's Chelsea saying the same. Kelsey saying the same thing. Did he offer $1 million? He mentioned the $1 million. Yes. So she speaks out. Pete initially sought to protect Peterson. She told the police that she slept on glass, and this is her testimony. Did you tell them you were shot? Answer, no. What did you tell them? Answer, I stepped on glass. What did you say? Why did you say that? Answer, at this time, we were at the height of police brutality and the situation with George Floyd. And I felt like if I said that this man just shot me, and I know they came because they had to have heard the gunshots, I don't know if they're going to shoot first and ask questions later. I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to die. I didn't feel safe. I don't feel safe in the car. And I know I just got shot, but I don't feel safe with the police officers either. A lot of times, a lot of us, particularly women, particularly Black women, and this is not a gender war thing, so don't even do that. We find ourselves, our cortisol levels are getting high, all of this stuff, because we're between a rock and a hard place. We've just been brutalized. by our men that they say that they're supposed to be the leaders and the protectors. And then we turn around and see those folks that brutalize our men trying to do whatever we can to keep the peace, because it doesn't matter. She was in a rock and a hard place. She was a damned if she did, damned if she didn't. Because if she had told those police that he had a gun and those police started shooting and he got shot, it was going to be Megan's fault. But because she decided to lie in an effort to de-escalate so that everybody could separate, it's her fault. And what I'm hearing a lot that's happening is that there is a segment of you all that are pissed off. Thank you. Thank you, Herbert. Good morning. That are pissed off because y'all don't really care about the fact that she was shot in her foot. That really doesn't matter to you all. You don't care anything about that. You know what you all cared about? Y'all are pissed off because this woman lied to Gayle King about having intimate relations with Tory Lanez. Oh my God, her character is so bad because she lied about her body count. We can't trust her. Even if that's all true, that she lied about having intimate relationships with Tory Lanez, right? And we also know that Kelsey had intimate relations with Tory Lanez. Even with all of that, if there is a situation, you all are missing me with this then correlation that it was okay for him to have pew-pewed her. Y'all are trying to conflate two separate issues. But it's her character, Pam. We can't trust her with her character. And, you know, she initially said that she had stepped on glass. She told you why she said that. But but you all are not okay with that. Because if she had said, that nigga got a gun, he just shot me, what do you think would have happened then? Because I'm quite sure they probably had stuff in their hands, or even if they didn't have stuff in their hands. If the moonlight would have hit the street light and shined upon somebody, they would have yelled gun. And bullets could have gone flying. But Pam, you don't understand it. It's about her character. Peterson lies compelled Pete to speak out. Now, what are we talking about? So all of this happened, right? You all remember, because this was the height of the pandemic. Everybody was inside. They were supposed to be inside. All this kerfuffle happened online. They kept going out that, oh, no, she wasn't shot. There was no gunshots. There was nothing there. She stepped on glass. Then, after she had surgery, and this is the kicker thing. This is where I know that you all don't pay attention to what's going on. Meg goes to have surgery to get the quote unquote glass removed from her foot, right? Remember that? You remember she had the glass removed from her foot, right? Well, she's in surgery. She's in surgery and they are removing bullet fragments. Once the doctor sees that there are bullet fragments coming out of this woman's foot, that triggers an investigation because the doctor is going to have to tell the police, I didn't pull glass from her foot. I pulled bullet fragments. Because I remember you all online. Well, how in the world she gets shot in both of her feet? And she's walking around. They said bullet fragments. See, fragments come when that bullet hits another object and then it explodes, and the pieces of that bullet go flying. That's what fragments are. It's parts of a whole bullet. In court, exactly. And I mean, like I said, you can stand on wherever it is you stand. Thank you, Herbert, so much for that. But what did it hurt anybody to lie to Gayle King? Why did Gayle King need to know that information anyway? But I digress. She's a journalist. I don't care nothing about all of that, really. But y'all got online talking about, well, she lied about the bullet fragments. She didn't lie. The doctor told the police that is what he pulled out of her feet. Well, there's just no way that she could have gotten, but there were 5 shots shot. Praise the Most High that it was fragments to her foot and not 3 slugs to her chest, her head. Hello there, Dominique. Good morning. Good morning. What are y'all really talking about? Well, if she lied about who she slept with, she lied about it anyway. Ladies, and this is coming from y'all. I'm quite sure there's a couple of troglodytes that you don't ever want to admit that you were with, talking to, regardless of whether you had intimate relationships with them or not. Guys, there's probably a couple of troglodytes that you don't want to admit that you've been with, whether you've had intimate relationships or not. Don't do that. Nothing to do with me, because I'm not there. I don't even care. I don't want to see all that, no way. If her and Kelsey chose to do that with Tory Lanez, that's their business. I'm not going to call his name, but he knows who I'm talking about when I say that. If Tory likes to climb trees, Tory likes to climb trees. That's not my business. But anyway. But y'all are out here ruthless. Y'all, it's almost like there's this frenzy that loves to be stirred up in regards to this. Well, Tory couldn't have done it. How he couldn't? He got online first talking about it was glass. And then when it came to him, because then everybody was thinking, well, if it wasn't Tory, it had to be Kelsey. If it wasn't Tory, it had to be Kelsey. So here we have him continuing to promote disproven lies. First lie. He claimed that Megan was never shot, but she stepped on glass. The second lie. At trial, his lawyers argued that Kelsey, not Peterson, was the shooter. And then we went with this third lie. And I think DJ Academics was the one that pushed all of this, or pushed this information out, that he had, I don't remember if he's like he had a source or he had some information given to him that the LAPD had lost or misplaced the firearm and the fragments. And then there was another one saying that the doctor pulled out the glass and it wasn't, there was glass, and then they said that it was a whole bunch of mess. So here we have it. This is Dr. Lee Haranu of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, orthopedic surgeon. He testified that the surgery was necessary to remove bullet fragments. Here is his operative report from that night. Now, I am not a physician or a nurse or in the medical field. It said preoperative diagnosis, gunshot wound by lateral lower extremities. By means two, so I'm quite sure they mean them both lower extremities. Post-operative diagnosis was the same. When he looked at her foot, he knew that she didn't step on any glass because her injuries were to the side and the top of her foot. These are the procedures that were performed. Right lower extremity, irrigation and excisional debridement wound size 1.5 centimeters. Right lower extremity, removal of foreign body, bullet fragment. Left lower extremity, irrigation and excisional debridement wound size 4 by 4. And these are centimeters. Lower left extremity, removal of foreign bodies. That means 2. Lower left extremity, complex wound closure with wound size 4 by 4 centimeters. Intraoperative findings. 3 major bullet fragments. 1 on right lower extremity, 2 on left lower extremity. Grossly intact Achilles tendon on right lower extremities. Left lateral heel, 4 by 4 centimeter wound. With partial dermal loss, that's skin. So that means her left heel had a 4 by 4 wound where 2 bullet fragments were pulled to where she had a partial dermal loss. Her right foot had a 1.5 centimeter wound that they had to clean out. Debridement means that they cleaned it out. This is a doctor. Now, he came to court and testified under oath that this is what he did. Why would he have to lie about that? Then y'all got online talking about this girl. Oh, well, you didn't get shot. You didn't do this. Because it's one thing for the public. Then her peers got up there talking that same stuff. Tory's lawyer at trial, when he did his closing argument, tried to blame it on Kelsey. And you can read it here. Y'all had it to the point that girl didn't even want to go out. She didn't want to do anything because you all were harassing her so bad online. And here it is. On September 25th, 2020, on my birthday, no doubt, Peterson admitted himself publicly that Harris did not shoot Pete. Someone named Spliff K. People saying Kelsey shot her. Tory Lanez at Spliff K. That's not true. Second lie, Harris shot Pete. It says Harris' DNA was not on the gun. DNA evidence shows that DNA on the gun came from a man, not a woman. And this is from the California Attorney General's opposition to Mr. Peterson's habeas corpus petition at 16. Indeed, as the major contributor, 90% of the DNA on the firearm was known to come from a man. It could not have come from a female such as Harris. Why didn't they test her? They said that the DNA was female. Why didn't they test Megan? Why didn't they test Kelsey? Came from a man. Peterson's DNA could not be excluded from the gun. Peterson had his own DNA experts testify at trial. Both prosecution and defense DNA experts reached the same conclusion. Peterson could not neither be included nor excluded as the contributor to the DNA found on the weapon. But what they came to the consensus was it wasn't female DNA on there. So who was the two men there? Why didn't he accuse the driver? So let's go with the second line. Harris shot Pete. Where was the gun found? Here's a picture of it. The semi-automatic firearm recovered directly under Peterson's seat. Weapon was still warm to touch and in slide lock position. All rounds fired. Spent cartridge cases from the scene matched this to this gun. Gunshot residue detected on Peterson's hands. But why didn't they test Chelsea's? So here is the officer testifying. Let y'all read that. Third lie. The LAPD lost or misplaced the gun and bullet fragments. They have a declaration. I declare under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California, dated this 31st day of October 2024. This is Martin, and I don't want to, and forgive me, Martin, if I don't pronounce your last name right. Presidio, Senior Property Officer, LAPD Evidence and Property Management Division. It's still there. The firearm magazine, the bullet casings, and the bullet fragments remain in the LAPD custody. They're still there. There's nothing lost. But Congresswoman, you let your friend Amber Rose put a battery in your back. And you're out here spouting stuff that was already given in the court of law. Rumors versus sworn testimony. I'm going to get through this. This is all coming from Alex Spiro. He is the attorney for Megan Pete. Here we have them folks at the press conference. They say Bradley James came forth. He's allegedly a former bodyguard of Harris. Claims overhearing Harris admit to shooting the firearm, but he wasn't an eyewitness to the shooting. He wasn't even present. His butt is somewhere over in Houston. But he says that he heard her talking to somebody who she was riding with. He never provided a sworn testimony or been subject to cross-examination. He's never publicly addressed these claims himself. Peterson's team merely alleges what he said. You mean you don't sit down and get an affidavit from this man? And this is what the kicker is. Despite being cited as a key source, James failed to appear at the press conference to support these allegations. A complete and utter joke. Utter joke. She let Amber Rose put a battery in her back. And exactly. And Dominique, you've hit it on the head. They don't care. They're just going to get that money from him. Meanwhile, whatever money he had going in that could have been compounding interest by the time 10 years came. So when he came out, now he's just sitting here and they're just bleeding him dry because they don't care. And you all are on the internet just espousing all this stuff that is incorrect and not true. And it wasn't proven in a court of law. Well, Pam, you know the system is rigged against us. This is Nori King. He's a former content moderator for blogger Milagro. Cooper testified under oath that Peterson admitted to Cooper that Pete was shot when a gun went off during a struggle. But what happened to she wasn't shot? It was glass. Peterson publicly claimed Pete merely stepped on glass, directly contradicting his own private admission. So which one is it? And here's the thing that bothers me, and I'm going to tell you about this, and you all are riding for Tory so hard. That's your right. But this is the same person where there was a restraining order out on him to stay away from Megan Pete. And this was before trial. So not only is he online spouting misinformation to get y'all stirred up, he does a music video where he is chopping the leg of a horse, and then he has on the wall of this video HGS, Hot Girl Summer Special, or Hot Girl Special. And then to add insult to injury, again, this is where their peers come in. The baby, they're all at Rolling Loud. Megan Pete is Megan Thee Stallion is there because she's supposed to perform. The baby is there because he's supposed to perform, and he performs after him. He gets up there like he's doing an episode of The Masked Singer, brings out this person with a bobblehead on there and tells the people, I'll give y'all a certain amount of money. I can't remember how much it was. If you can guess who this is. This girl just left the stage. And so you're making sure that she hears this. Y'all can't guess. Y'all can't guess. Guess who this is. Guess who this is. And if that is not a situation of harassing and taunting, I don't know what is. And who takes off the head? Tory Lanez. What are you doing there? You were not on the lineup. You're supposed to stay doggone a football field away from this woman. But here you are at Rolling Loud because your peers are hyping you up because it's key, ha, ha, funny. And then he goes to court, and the court's like, wait a minute, hold on. No, you were supposed to stay away. Well, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was doing. You knew exactly what you were doing. But I can tell you that behavior, you have done that all your life. And some of you ladies fall for it because he's a motherless child. Peterson chose not to call a key witness at trial. Key witness, the driver, the fourth person in the car. He saw it all. He was supposed to be your best witness. Excuse me. If what you said was true, that you didn't do it, that was your best witness. Because now it's 2 against 2. Funny how he wasn't there. Funny how he didn't testify. Excuse me. Funny how he didn't testify, because it says here he was there. Then we have the independent witness who saw the short guy shot the girl, who then fell onto the middle of the road and was bleeding. Confirmed shooter had his arms outstretched, fired 4 or 5 shots, and had something in his hand with the noise and the flashes. Here we go with this ring footage, this beautiful ring footage, according to the Congresswoman, where her friend Amber Rose put the battery in her back. Peterson teams have recently claimed that they have obtained the ring footage that supposedly exonerates Peterson. This was played in the court. Oh, let's hear it.
You're listening to Street TV.
That was 5 gunshots. He didn't testify. That was his right. He doesn't have to testify in his own defense. And lastly, what they did is that they took out the unsworn, because none of these people would come in to do any sworn testimony. That's Daystar Peterson, that's Milagro Cooper, and that's Bradley James. Milagro Cooper was one of the bloggers that was in court listening to all the evidence. So she heard all the evidence. But then meanwhile, you have all these people on the other side, Megan Pete, the doctor, the detective, the LAPD criminologist, the firearms examiner, the witness. They all testified under oath, and their testimony was consistent with the evidence. The jury unanimously found Peterson guilty based on the facts, not unsubstantiated claims. So y'all put this arrest. So see, we here in the 36 hour. We're here in the 36 hour. Where is this new evidence? There is no new evidence. This was just to turn y'all into a frenzy. There's no new evidence. This was just to throw y'all in this big old frenzy. Because he needs his name to be out there. Now, has Tory Lanez been hurt? Yes. I wish him all the recovery. Does he have a right to petition the governor for a pardon? Absolutely. But once again, you all have been manipulated to wreak havoc on this internet against Megan Thee Stallion. Leave that woman alone. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. And, you know, I think a lot of people want me to sit here and say, oh, well, it's the men. It's the men. Y'all ladies are out here doing it too. You gentlemen and you ladies are all out here. Leave that woman alone. The facts are the facts. I clearly understand that this system is stacked against Black men, Black women, but mostly Black men. I understand that. But this ain't that case. This is not that case. Daystar Peterson is a menace. Ask August Alsina. What is that other rapper that he was in the middle of a fight with? Because didn't he walk up to somebody and slap him? Then that's alleged, because I can't remember. I don't have the name. But this man has been walking around and he's a menace. And we all know he is a menace. He is where he needs to be at this point. We should be wishing him a recovery. But y'all stop falling for this. His attorneys, you all should be ashamed of yourselves taking that man's money, and you know it's a lost cause. You all hyping this stuff up. Shame on you, Amber Rose, for getting your friend who is a congressperson who could be focused on a whole lot of issues, even surrounding something with prison reform and all of this stuff. But you got her out here looking crazy. Listen, we're not going to be out here and be obtuse. There is no evidence. Because if there was any evidence, they would have presented it. They would have presented it a long time ago. Tory Lanez has had his habeas corpus out here for a while. All of that stuff should have been presented. All they're doing is rehashing stuff that has been disproven. And you all know who's messing with her, because you can probably gaslight somebody else, but you can't gaslight me. And thank you so much, SD, for your comment so that I can speak on it. She's supposed to be going to DreamCon this weekend. That's in Houston. What's she going there for? She don't do that. That girl's been cosplaying ever since I knew about it, Megan Thee Stallion. But y'all putting stuff out there. Now, I don't know anything about what's going on with Glorilla. Only thing I saw was that she had some kind of caption and she was using a song, and you all said that she was in support of Tory. I don't know. That's all I saw. I can't make those leaps and bounds. She's gonna have to sit down and have a conversation with Megan in regards to that. But all I'm saying is this. I hate to hear that he was assaulted in prison, excuse me. I really do hate to hear that. But there are no facts. All the facts were presented. Now, if the driver comes out and says something different, well, why would you not want to get the truth out there? Why would you just sit in court or be available but won't testify in his defense? Why didn't you talk to the prosecution to let them know? I don't know. But y'all leave that girl alone. Okay, thank you. And 36 hours is up. Yeah, they did. I reported that at the top of this thing. He's been transferred to a new prison. And like I said, knowing who he was, I'm wondering why they put him in general population. Why didn't they have him under protective custody? That made no sense to me. But leave that girl alone. And it again, the only reason why y'all are mad and the only reason why you want her to have a sense of justice and comeuppance is because she lied to Gayle King about sleeping with Tory Lanez. That's all that is. You want her to take responsibility for something that she did not do, other than lie that she didn't, about sleeping with Tory Lanez. That's all that is. So, and then it seems to me like some of y'all believe she shot herself. Oh, but she didn't, but there was no gun present. She stepped on glass. She lied about being shot. But the ring camera footage said that she shot. No, she didn't. See, the ring camera footage will prove that she didn't get shot. That she stepped on glass. Oh, but the eyewitness said, well, he didn't see anything. What he saw was Megan shooting herself. No. What happened? This is what happened. See, Megan and Kelsey in the back. They were fighting, and the fight spilled out in the street. And Kelsey shot her. Because here's the thing where that doesn't even make any sense. Because let's go back. Let's rewind this whole night. Let's go back to that Jenner girl's house. They're all in the pool. Megan's drunk. Tory's drunk. Kelsey's tipsy. The hairdresser is tipsy. Megan's hairdresser is tipsy. Stylist is tipsy. Jenner girl is tipsy. They're all having a good time at the party. When in essence, everybody was supposed to be home. They wasn't supposed to be at no parties, no way. Because y'all were on lockdown. We were on lockdown at that point. All y'all were hard-headed at that point. So remember the testimony of the stylist. How did Megan, Kelsey get there? They rode in the same car. Megan, Kelsey, and the stylist rode to the Jenner girl's house together. The stylist noticed that Megan was getting a little aggravated. So he was like, we all need to go. They were getting and putting their stuff in the car. They were doing everything. And if I'm not mistaken, they all decided that the girls decided that they were going to go with Tory. Worst mistake of their lives. So they got in the car with Tory because Tory drove there in a separate car. So I'm going to leave you with this particular question. How did Megan and Kelsey know that there was a gun in the car when they got in the car? Because for Kelsey and Megan to be fighting and scrapping like y'all say she did, and they tumbling out of the car, how would Kelsey know that there was a gun in the car? There were two people that knew that there was a gun in the car. And that was Tory Lanez and Tory Lanez's driver. I would say there were two people that had reasonable knowledge to know that there was a gun in the car. Those girls would not have known that there was a gun in the car because they didn't ride there with Tory. They rode in a separate car, and they sent that car on with the stylist in it. I need for y'all to be so for real. And I need for you all to stop joining bandwagons and just take careful look at stuff. All right, people, we do this. I've been on here too long. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all leave that girl alone. Leave Megan alone. There is no new evidence. No new evidence. None. Leave that girl alone. Let her live her life in peace. And y'all live your life in peace. And I would surely hate that it would come down, that the internet will come at you because you decided not to tell the truth about who you had intimate relationships with. But I will leave you with this. Y'all stop telling your business to perfect strangers. If you are not moving towards in a relationship with somebody, who you've slept with, when you slept with, is not their business on your first date. That's not their business. It becomes their business when you all decide that you want to be in a relationship together and you want to decide that you want to be intimate. That's when it becomes their business. Stop answering these men about who you slept with. Stop answering these women about who you slept with. If you're not going to be in a relationship with that person, you keep that to yourself until the information becomes necessary and relevant. Well, were you trying to hide from me? You trying to... No. Y'all going to learn that there are some things you need to keep to yourself and only speak it to the people who need to hear that information. I see y'all in the comments. 36 hours are up. Congresswoman, we haven't seen any new information. And honestly, they sold you, your friend Amber Rose sold you a bill of goods. She just needed for you to keep this out in the public eye. And you did so for a friend. I can't fault you for that. But we'll be back here probably in the next 6 months. Because we're going to find the sewer worker who was working the sewers at that time that peeped out. No, Pennywise. We're going to see Pennywise come up and say he saw everything from the sewer. That's what we're going to see. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.